Whoopsie. Who says whoopsie? Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. That is such a crazy thing for me to say. I never really thought that I would ever make anything out of my passion for makeup. I thought that it would just be kind of something that I played around with and never really did anything with, but here I am. I finally kind of made the leap. So in today's video, I am going to be using a palette that is very, very special to me, the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. This is the first palette that I ever bought, like the first high-end palette that is. I had used, up until then, pretty much only like one Maybelline eyeshadow palette, but I saw this palette online one day and I was just like, I have to have that. That is just so gorgeous. And I like thought it over and I thought about it for a while and I was like, should I? And then finally I just made the leap and I just was like, you know what, I'm gonna purchase it. And I absolutely fell in love. The shadows are so blendable, so pigmented, so easy to use for somebody who had literally no makeup experience almost whatsoever. I just felt like since this is my first video ever that it would be a crime if I didn't just use, you know, the palette that kind of started it all. So I guess without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into the video. Alright guys, so my hair is looking a mess and the neighbors are doing yard work outside. So I hope you can't hear the lawnmower, but if you can, just try to push through it. Okay, so we're going to jump straight into our eyeshadow with our Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. It is such a beautiful palette. But first we're going to prime our eyes. Today I'm using the Clinique All About Shadow Primer for Eyes. And I'm just going to take that and apply a little bit of it to my lids. I've been using this this primer for a couple of days. I have found that it crumbles a little bit if I spread instead of pat. So I'm going to use patting motions to blend that into my eyes. Now that my primer is patted in, I'm going to take my palette and I'm going to use the shadow brush that came in with the palette. I actually really love these brushes. A lot of people don't like them because they came with the palette. They're not maybe like the highest end quality, but I think for a brush that you just get with a palette, it's a really great quality. And I'm going to go in with the light shade Tempera, and I'm going to put that all over my lid, again with patting motions. I use patting motions because I find that swiping motions right over wet primer will cause the shadow to skip and get little lines where your skin on your eyelid moves. At least that happens to me. So just patting motions all over the lid. Okay, now that our lids are kind of set with a neutral shade, we're going to go in with the purple shade Bon Fresco. I absolutely love this shade, y'all. I think it was a really innovative shade to put in this palette in a time where pretty much no palettes had a purple in it. This is like a light purpley gray. Did y'all hear that? Oh my goodness. So, and I'm just going to very, very gently begin to fluff this into my crease. Okay, now you guys are zoomed in a little bit, so hopefully you can see better. And I'm just going to keep taking that Bon Fresco shade and gently patting it into the crease. Once I get the patting motion going and just getting a little bit of pigment on the eye, I'm going to start using windshield wiper motions to blend that. And just keep bringing that into the crease. Okay, now that our transition shade is on, I'm going to go in with Love Letter, this beautiful vibrant pink right here, and I'm also going to start packing that into the crease, but it's going to be a little bit lower on the lid than Bon Fresco. And again, just go in with a really light hand because there is time to build this up, but you don't want to go in too heavy at first. You can see how well loved this palette has been. it is not as beautiful and clean as it once was. Going on the other eye. It's such a awesome, happy moment for me to be able to film this look for you guys, because this is the first signature look or something like that I ever did. Just the ability to create eyeshadow looks that were dramatic and just that blended together so easily, because the quality of this palette is so amazing. This palette really has been like my go-to for ever since I got it. I have basically no complaints about it, and this is the palette that made me such a die-hard Anastasia Beverly Hills fan. This is starting to look pretty smoky, so now I'm going to deepen it even more with Venetian Red. I'm going to take this on the other side of this brush. It's more of a flat packing shadow brush, and concentrate this on the outer corner of the lid. Sorry, I make weird faces when I do eyeshadow. I bet I look super silly. That's okay though. You gotta do what you gotta do, y'all. A little bit more of that shade. And keep on packing. Notice how I'm doing really bouncy swiping motions as opposed to or something really digging my brush in. Because I don't want this shadow to get into more areas than I would want it to be in. Now to blend that in, I'm going to take more of Love Letter and put it back in the outer corner and start bringing it in. Y'all who love warm tones and pinks, this is the look for you. This is very warm tone, very pink. And now to create any more depth on the fluffy side of the brush, I'm going to take the shade Red Ochre. I'm going to very, very lightly tap this into the outer corner. This is an intense shade, so you don't want to use too much of it. It's okay if the edges are messy because I'm going to do my base afterwards so that I can clean up the edges really easily. That's pretty much it for our crease blending. Now to soften the edges up a little more, I'm going to go back into the shade Tempera on my fluffy blending brush and just very lightly go over the brow bone and the edges of the blending. Some people do like to bring their shadow all the way up to the brow bone. I personally prefer to have my shadows stop around here. Okay, and now that that's there, this is the fun part in my opinion. We are going to take this beautiful gold shade called Primavera on our fingertips and spread that from the inner corner to the center of the lid. And it's just a really gorgeous shade. Now the shimmers in this palette are not really, really, really intense. They're more of a very soft, creamy formula. Okay, once we've gotten that shadow packed on, we're going to go back into Buon Fresco, and we're going to brush it over where a crease is to define the crease a little bit more again, since that golden shadow kind of messes it up just a little bit. You know what, you guys? I think that I do want this gold shade to be a little bit bolder because this is YouTube. Now, if I were wearing this out, I probably would leave it just like this with the Anastasia shimmer, but I'm just feeling a little bit extra today. So I'm going to go into my Huda Beauty Rose Gold palette. This is the limited edition one, not the remake. And I'm going to take the shade, let's go ahead and take the shade 24 Karat on our finger, and this is really going to give us a pop of sunlight. As you can see, that shade is very intense. This is a messy formula. It's kind of getting under my eyes. But again, that's why we are doing our shadow first today, so that if there's any fallout or anything that is going where we don't quite want it to go, we're just going to cover it up with our foundation. Okay, that gold shade is really, really fun. And finally, just to add a little bit of dimension, we're going to take this champagne shade Vermeer onto our flat brush and just very sparingly put it on the inner corner. probably will go in and fix up this inner corner highlight once we're done with our base, but I do like to have a little bit of an ombre effect on my lid. Alright, so that is it for the top of the eyes. I'm going to go and do my base off camera, and then I will be back. Okay guys, so I went ahead and I did my hair and my base, and now we are going to move on to the lower lash line. So I'm going to go back in the Anastasia palette, and I'm going to take the shade Bon Fresco on the flat side of this brush, and I'm going to take that under the lower lash line. I'm going to do that on both sides. I'm going to take a little bit more of that shade on the fluffy side of this brush, very, very gently so that it doesn't go all the way down my eye. Take and buff that on the lower lash line. Okay, now that that's done, I'm going to go back into Love Letter on the flat side of the brush again and put that close to the lashes. And then without putting any extra product on the brush, I'm just going to buff that out a little bit. Okay, and now for what might be my favorite part, we are going to highlight. Today we're going to be using the Anastasia Glow Kit in Sundipped, just to keep in line with the little Anastasia Beverly Hills theme. We're going to be taking a fan brush. This is a fan brush by Moda Cosmetics that I got in my Ipsy bag, which is really awesome. My favorite thing to get from them is brushes. And we are going to go, let's go ahead and do the shade Moonstone. This is a beautiful champagne-y pink. Put that on both cheeks to get that beautiful shine. Now, if you have a lot of texture on your cheeks, either from acne scars or from something else, be careful about how much you highlight because you could accentuate the texture. Anytime you draw attention to something with light, it can make it stand out. And then just with my finger, I'm going to take some of that down my nose very lightly. I love the nose highlight. And then also just on my Cupid's bow. Their highlight is blinding. Lastly, I'm just going to take that same shade on a shading brush and finish my inner corner highlight. You know what? I'm actually going to use Summer, this really pretty gold shade, for the inner corner highlight. It's one of my favorite things, the inner corner highlight. Yeah, there we go. And you know what? This highlight I think is a little intense for me, so I'm just going to go over that with my beauty blender. There we go. Alright guys, and oh my goodness, I was going to totally forget eyeliner, mascara, and lashes. For liner today, we are going to be using the liquid liner from Ciate London. I really love this eyeliner. It's another thing that came in my Ipsy bag. It is full size, and I've obviously gotten a lot of wear off of it, if you can see. Oh, I dropped the cap. So yeah, I've obviously gotten a lot of use out of this, as you can see by the lettering chipping off of it. I'm just going to go in and start drawing my wing. And I'm doing a very dramatic wing, but you absolutely do not have to do a wing this far out. This liner is starting to dry out a little bit because it's getting old. It probably is time to repurchase. Yes, I would definitely repurchase this liner. It is really pigmented. It's very, very black, and until it started drying out, which it took a long time, it lasted a really long time, it used to glide on extremely smoothly. Alright guys, now we have an interesting mistake. It turns out when I was hitting record, I was actually hitting stop recording, and when I thought that I was hitting stop recording, I was actually hitting record. So I recorded all of this junk footage of me messing around instead of me fixing my eyeliner, my mascara with the L'Oreal Voluminous Mascara. But coming up, we have the exact moment when I realized that I had made a mistake. There it is. Okay, let's see that again. Nice, Audrey. Anyway, back to our regular programming. Okay, today we are going to be using the Eyelure Naturals number 31. They look like this. They're very, well, see. Come on, focus. They're very, very thin and wispy, so I was thinking we could do something a little more natural today. And I do have my own lash glue, but it comes with lash glue, so I thought, like, why not try it out and see if it works, you know? I don't know about this. This is definitely difficult to use. I'm just gonna let these dry for a second, get, like, not completely dry, but get tacky. It also comes with little tweezers, so you know what, I'm just gonna use them and see what happens. I dropped them. Okay, my truth today is if cheap lashes come with lash glue, maybe just use your own. Okay, those tweezers ain't working either. Alright, and then to just seal those on, I'm going to take my Superhero Mascara by IT Cosmetics and just very lightly push up on the lashes. One thing that is nice about this lash style is that since they are so small and natural, they're basically the same length as my lashes, so it's like just having another layer of my own natural lashes. Okay, now it's time to do our lips. I'm going to use this combo today. This is the Stila Cosmetics Liquid Lip in the shade Forza, and the Colourpop Cosmetics Ultra Glossy Lip in the shade Here's to You. I love this lip gloss. I wear it absolutely all the time. So what I like to do with my liquid lips is I wipe off a lot of the excess still in the jar, because I like to get an extremely thin application first and then build it up if I need to. I'm actually new to Stila's formula and I love it. It's extremely pigmented. I do not need to dip in again, and it's creamy. And this is not the quickest drying formula, which I actually find to be a benefit because it gives me plenty of time to fix my mistakes if I need to. Okay guys, now that the lipstick has dried down, we're going to take our Colourpop gloss and just give a light coat of that over the lips. This gloss doesn't have much color to it, it's mostly just glitter, which I like a lot. It makes it a great topper. Also, one thing this gloss is great for is after I've been wearing a lipstick for a while, if it starts to wear down any, I can put the lip gloss on it and it kind of rehydrates it and gives it a new life. So yeah. So this is the finished look. Okay. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. It definitely means a lot to me, this being my first video that I ever put up, and also just being able to film with the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette, because this palette was, you know, my first love. And so, yeah, if you liked what you saw today, please like, comment, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you all in my next video. Thanks guys, bye!